Hi, my name is Keon Smith, and I'll be doing my presentation over the medieval logic and belief. First, I'm going to go over Dante's Divine Comedy. Now, Dante's Divine Comedy, which is also known as Dante's Inferno, was an epic that was written by Dante Alighieri. As like the epics we went over, such as the Odyssey or the epics of Gilgamesh, Dante's Divine Comedy was an epic of the writer himself, which was Dante. And this basically it was events of Dante overcoming stages of hell and purgatory in order to ascend to heaven and be with God. And it represented a way to guide those who have lost their way in life. For instance, it displayed a path of solitude for those who weren't sure about their faith and how to approach a life that would lead them to paradise with God. Now, Dante's Inferno, or Dante's Comedy, has a lot of symbolism and numerology into it. Now, the symbolisms that I found were Virgil. Now, Virgil was a symbol of human reason for Dante, or you could say Dante's guide. And Virgil helped Dante reach to the top of Mount Purgatory, as he wasn't able to help him get any further, since human reason is not able to surpass Christian faith. Since that was the case, Virgil had to depart from Dante, and then that's when Dante met Beatrice, who was the divine wisdom for Dante and also a spiritual devotion towards him. And she served him through his journey in order to help him get through paradise. Now, for numerology, I'll go with the nine rings of hell. Now, the nine rings of hell represented the stages of sin, and towards the top is more of, or it goes in order of the best at the top, the worst at the bottom. So whatever's at the bottom, let's circle 9, is the most treacherous stage. And since there's 9 stages, and each one gets worse as the number increases, each stage holds a different tier of punishment. And this allowed for sinners to suffer their proper destiny. For instance, if you were a thief, you would be in circle 8 and Cantos 24-25. The medieval university existed in really well-known cities that we know today, such as Oxford, Paris, Bologna, and Cambridge. These universities challenged the education of the church by giving a more formal and logical explanation to their scholastic problems. They also taught liberal arts and split it into 2 curriculums. One was the trivium, and the other one was the quadrivium. Like today, the medieval university allows for its students and scholars to get degrees. Now, these degrees are the same that we have today, except I haven't heard if they give an associate's or not, but I've only seen that they offer a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a PhD. A really interesting fact is that in the city of Bologna, this university was ran primarily by students, and these students hired their own professors. And what's also interesting is the students themselves control the salaries of their professors and also the schedules. Moving on to medieval scholasticism, in the pre-12th century, the church was considered to be the major repository of knowledge, and it was believed that faith and knowledge were concepts derived from God himself. Aristotle was a controversial figure in the eyes of the church. He approached his views with reason and challenged the intellect of the church. The church attempted to ban his ideas and works, but Aristotle had already spread his word to medieval scholars, so that in itself sparked an age of faith and reason. Peter Abelard used logical reasoning to create conflicting opinions on the church and their religious matters. He wrote 150 opinions on important religious matters, and due to his controversial scholastic tendencies, he was able to collect lots of information regarding the church, which inspired him to create more and more collections of comprehensive essays. Thomas Aquinas was a theologian who questioned the nature of God and the ethics of money lending. He posed over 600 questions regarding the nature of God in order to make people ponder on their lack of reasoning. The pilgrimage church were churches that housed ancient religious relics, such as pieces from the cross on which Jesus died on, and remnants of saints. These Christian pilgrims visited the churches in order to pay homage to saints and also pardon any sin that they might have had. And due to this high influx of Christian pilgrims visiting the churches, these pilgrimage churches received high revenue, which was reinvested into the church to give a better experience for those to come and visit. Now, why is all this significant? Well, Dante's Divine Comedy served as a guideline to those who seek an afterlife with God, and it also gave faith to those who lacked reasoning. The medieval university offered knowledge outside of the church and allowed citizens to get intellect from a more proper, logical teaching platform. They also allowed men and women to gain education. The age of medieval scholasticism was a period of questioning. It brought up discussion on faith and reasoning and introduced a logical view of faith and the church. The pilgrimage church preserved religious artifacts and relics and kept the importance of historical artifacts safe. It also provided a place of spiritual relief and forgiveness of sin for those who seeked it. Now it's time for a quiz. Whose ideas and works were attempted to be banned by the church due to its controversy? Well, that would be Aristotle. What were the two types of liberal arts curriculum offered at the medieval universities? That would be C, the quadrivium and the trivium. What was considered the major repository of knowledge pre-12th century? That would be B, the church. Well, that's all. I thank you for listening, and I look forward to watching and listening to all of your other presentations.